So one of the drawbacks to doing the overnight show is we usually don't get to give anything away. And that sucks. Those daytime shows get to give stuff away. But every once in a while, they throw us a bone. So some exciting news here that I want to pass on. And it's not just our show. It's all of Fox Sports Radio. But they included our show. How nice of that is of management to include our program. So Fox Sports Radio has teamed up with our friends at tirerack.com. You hear us talk about tirerack.com a lot. It's a good company. They've got a good product. Everyone needs tires these days, right? And that's just the way it is. And so to give away a set of 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, a set of 4 brand new tires. How cool is that? Yeah. Valued at up to $1,500 every 2 weeks. So it's not just a one-time giveaway. No. Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks during this summer. And that's right, 3 lucky listeners will receive a set of 4 tires plus installation, taxes, and fees, valued at up to $1,500. And it can be yours. Right? Yeah. It's the Summer of Tire Rack Sweepstakes. Enter daily at foxsportsradio.com to increase your chances to win. Yes, you. Not him or not him. They're not eligible. But you can register to win every single day to improve your chances. A winner will be selected every 2 weeks between now and August 27th for a set of 4 brand new tires. Here's the key part. Listen closely. To enter, here's what you do. All right? Get the rules and enter. Visit foxsportsradio.com. And I would really like somebody that listens overnight to win, because it would upset management greatly if that happens. So I'm pulling for you, the overnight nocturnal listener, to win these tires. It's sponsored by tirerack.com, the way tire buying should be. Again, if you want to enter, foxsportsradio.com, enter every single day, all summer long, and you can smell the rubber of brand new tires. And you can thank your friends at tirerack.com and Fox Sports Radio. The Cincinnati Bengals, right there at the very top behind Kansas City. If you look at the totem pole of success in the American Football Conference, the Bengals, these are not the Sam Weish Bengals or the old school Bengals from back in the day. And as training camp gets to full blossom later this week, some news out of Ohio involving the future plans of the Cincinnati football team. And in particular, the Bengals have a quagmire on their hands. What is the quagmire? Well, they have not only Joe Burrow and his contractual future to the Bengals to decide, also Jamar Chase, his deal coming up, and T. Higgins, all lined up in the next year and a half. They all either got to get paid or they got to go somewhere else. So the Bengals, who have been known as one of the more frugal franchises in the NFL, it's a mom-and-pop shop in Cincinnati. Try the chili and buy a souvenir. Knock yourself out there. If you've not heard the latest, the reason I'm bringing this up, there's a new revelation. Maybe you missed it because you're not on the cusp of the Cincinnati Bengals. You're not. You're just not part of that. But I think we have some audio now. The screen, by the way, not working, Coop. So I have to click reset on that. So Coop told me there's audio and it's on the screen. So I'm looking at the screen completely blank. No, I can reset it. I got to hit some buttons and all that. But do we have Mike Brown? We have Mike Brown. Okay, we have Mike Brown audio. So Mike Brown, this is what's called the setup. Very smooth. We have a very smooth operation here. So Mike Brown is the president of the Cincinnati Bengals, and he laid out what many believe is a gloomy picture regarding the financial situation of the Cincinnati football team. Let's go to the audio tape.
Think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy. And it just is obvious that when all teams are essentially paying the same thing, we're all paying up to the cap, it's hard to fit everybody in. It's impossible to fit everybody in at the rate they wish they could be paid. Pretty obvious that Joe is the heart of the matter. After that, we want all the guys we can get, but we may have to go short in a couple cases.
All right, so that was Mike Brown. Somebody give him some caffeine. Looks like he's about to take a nap there. It sounds like he needs to sleep a little bit, wake up, pep up a little bit, whatever the case. So that's the general gist of what Mike Brown said. He also had the money quote, which I couldn't tell if he said this or not. Maybe he did because he sounded like he was ready to fall asleep. But he talked about being mathematical, and you have a bag of corn, you have 10 hogs, and you're not going to be able to please all of the heifers. That's my word. He said hogs. So let us discuss the question when it comes to the Cincinnati football team. What did you take away from Mike Brown and his commentary regarding the future of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins as it relates to long-term in Cincinnati? So I've got dog whistle, goalposts, and Mariah Carey. Three things that have never been put together, but we're going to put them together right now and throw them against the wall. So, Mike Brown is speaking the truth. I do think he's speaking the truth. Now, that's his truth. The reality is, if the Bengals want, they can keep everybody. There is a path to salvation to keep everybody. You can do it. There's a way to get it done, but that would require taking in less revenue and cutting back on how much profit you make, and they don't want to do that. So that's really what he's saying. And this is what's known as a heart-to-heart with the fan. It's a heart-to-heart with the fan that, hey, listen, lay it all out, and we're not the Rams. We're not going to spend big and go crazy for a couple years and all that. No. Can't keep everyone. This is a dog whistle. Whistle is what this is to the fan. That enjoy the season, but tick, 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 tick. The doomsday clock is a-ticking. And that, you're going to get rid of this guy and that guy, but you're not going to get rid of Joe Burrow. T. Higgins, you might want to put your house on the market now, see if you can get some money for it there and rent. Because T. Higgins is the first one up, the first one headed towards free agency, and it would appear that he will be gone. Joe Burrow, they've got the fifth-year option, knowing the way the Bengals operate. They're negotiating a contract, but at this point, you'd have to put the smart money on the Bengals just picking up the fifth-year option, buying another year, granted at a good amount of money, but less money than the Bengals ultimately are going to have to pay. Although long-term, considering outside of the creepy quarterback Deshaun Watson, the salaries keep going up. Every time there's a new deal. So Joe Burrow's price, if you wait a year, will be higher a year from now in theory, although he's in a different class than the other quarterbacks. But looking into the crystal ball, and it's very important if you get a show like this to have a crystal ball. The Bengals will pay Burrow eventually. He'll get the big money, and the front office of the Bengals will need therapy when they pay Joe Burrow the big money. But he's going to get the big money, and then after that, they will pivot to Jamar Chase and offer him a lot of money. And then maybe he'll take the money, maybe he won't take the money. And then T. Higgins will be excommunicated from the Bengals den. He'll be out. Now, page 2. Let's go to Kansas City. They are the presumptive favorite in the American Football Conference. They are guaranteed, it would appear, to be in the AFC Championship game. They have been there year after year after year. But are they a dynasty? Not the old TV show from a million years ago that used to be popular in a different era of television. But Patrick Mahomes does not think that the Chiefs are a dynasty. But he knows what it would take to get that title of a dynasty. It'd be called one. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Mahomes said, quote, I think we're in the beginning of one. I think in dynasties, I always say you got to win 3. That's what Mahomes said recently from the Chiefs training area there. Now, Mahomes saying the Chiefs are at the beginning of a dynasty, but not at dynasty status. Is that in bounds or is that out of bounds? So I have it right on the fence. And I'm leaning towards out of bounds. And here's why. Because the definitions change for certain things over time. I don't like the definitions change for certain things over time, but they do happen. And the modern definition of a dynasty, Kansas City does qualify under that. Now, they're not a stone-cold NFL dynasty, but if you look at the modern definition of a dynasty, it has changed. The Chiefs do qualify as that. And the Chiefs have been to the AFC title game, or better, every season Patrick Mahomes has started there. They've been in the AFC title game. So they've made 5 straight Final Four appearances. And Kansas City has won a pair of Super Bowls with Mahomes at quarterback. So to compare that, you look at the bloodline of legends. Now, they're not at Patriot status. The Patriots at one point, they had a 20-year run essentially, but at one point they made 8 straight Super Bowl / conference, Super Bowl or / conference championship game over 8 years from 2011 to 2018. But if you look at the other teams that we consider dynasties in the NFL, the 1990s Cowboys, with all those star players in Jerry's world, the most they made was 4 straight. As I understand it, they made 4 straight conference title games in the 90s. The 80s 49ers had 2 different quarterbacks, Montana and Young, and they each made 3 straight conference championship games or Super Bowls, but no more than that. And you can even go back to the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers, and the most they made consecutive was 3 straight conference championship games and or obviously Super Bowls in that stretch. So by that standard, they've already accomplished the 5 straight championship games, conference championship games, more than the 90s, 80s, and 70s dynasties of the NFL. Now, the last word, let's go to Cleveland. An old punching bag is back. The Cleveland Browns practicing in, actually, West Virginia, not in Cleveland, but Deshaun Watson, who fed the content kitty and was feeding a lot of kitties for a couple of years there. But Deshaun is now speaking up to the media. He spoke recently. The creepy quarterback was in midseason form. And if you did not see this, we'll give you the highlights. You might have missed it. Deshaun Watson placed some of the blame on the very negative public image that he now has. He placed some of the blame on the M word, the media. Yeah, he said that the teammates have embraced him. And let's get a little audio. Let's listen to Deshaun Watson here as he talks about the perception, his teammates, and the evil media.
The whole situation changed me, in a situation where it's just kind of I had to lock in on myself, channel and really know who I'm, surrounding myself with, and just really who's going to be there and support me, even when I'm at my lowest point. And, the last 2 years was definitely my lowest point of my life, but that's part of life. And, I just go from it. I learn from it. I continue to move forward and push forward and continue to show my real character, my real personality, and who I am.
All right, well, we didn't have the media part, which is what I'm talking about, but he did blame the media for the negative perceptions of his reputation over the last couple of years. He talked about his upbringing and all that. So why did Deshaun Watson go to the media card, saying that is to blame for a lot of the negativity that's around him? So it's kind of like a Mariah Carey song, Fantasy, right? Old Mariah Carey. Living in Never Never Land. Another word would be obtuse. We could use the word obtuse for Watson, who I don't believe is now coached any longer on what to say to the media. I think that ended once the litigation. He cut some giant cartoon-sized checks to pay the people that were accusing him of playing touchy-feely without permission. And Watson talked about his tough upbringing and all of that, really shielding himself from the copious amounts of sexual assault allegations. Now, to my memory, maybe I'm wrong on this, you can correct me, I don't think anyone who is a reporter sued Watson for bad massage. I think it was all random women he met on Instagram or other places. I think that's the case. And Watson had a school bus, maybe a Greyhound bus, maybe a train car full of women who had made accusations. And you get money. He paid everybody. And he tried to pay. No, he paid everybody. He paid most people. Not everyone would take the check. And the Browns, being the gutless slimeball franchise the Cleveland Browns are, they, of course, rewarded Watson with $230 million. That's the Cleveland Browns right there. That's the Brownies. Way to go. Way to go. And you can bring that snake venom right there to the Browns locker room. And Deshaun Watson is like lead in the drinking water, lead in the pipes is what Watson is for the Brownies. Good luck on that.